Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the 21st of September. Um, and that is, of course, 2021. Not a fan of the changes in this show, but it is what it is, and it's going to be that way for a while. Till hopefully USA kicks it off the air for being a substandard show. I'm really not quite sure where they'll go. My gut is they will fall back to 550 to 600,000 viewers, even with the pushing on Raw and such. Anyway, show begins with a recap of last week, and then Tommaso Ciampa opens the show for his first appearance since winning the championship for the second time. Gets in the ring and filled with a bunch of the new people on NXT television. And let's see, Braun Breaker, Odyssey Jones, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Brooks Jensen, and Josh Briggs are all there. Ciampa seems happy to be the champion, and Big Goldie's back talking to him. Ciampa pauses to listen to Goldie, and he says he missed Goldie too. Cuts a pep rally promo hyping up NXT 2.0 like he's a captain of a big old football team. He is the brand's top champion. Conclusion of the promo. Ciampa then declares that NXT is an A show, and he leads the crowd in the chant, proclaiming "We are NXT." Cameron Grimes enters the scene. Grimes then goes to tell Ciampa that he's that the championship that's just fuel. Grimes himself needs to be going to the moon. Grimes then interrupted by Joe Gacy, but LA Knight is out to interrupt Gacy and then runs the rest of the crew assembled in the ring. Odyssey Jones tells Knight to shut up, and then another interruption. Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland enter the ring to confront the group in the ring. Dunne looks around, calls them a bunch of geezers, and they're all too scared to throw the first punch. Ciampa then hits Dunne with a punch, causing the domino effect, and as a result, a melee, huge brawl, and then Kaylee Ray, Elektra Lopez, and B-Fab, and one other woman are involved in pull-apart brawls there, and Breaker grabs the microphone and says the audience wants to see the fight continue. Breaker is the son of Rick Steiner, but sounds like his Uncle Scott. Anyway, Breaker is addressing Dunne and Holland and wonders how about the two of you little individuals grow a set of guts and face him and Ciampa in tag match tonight. Wild opening. And there we go. Roderick Strong with the Diamond Mine defeats Kushida to win the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I don't even know that anybody cares enough about the belt for this to be a big thing. Anyway, Strong pins Kushida after interference by the Diamond Mine. Strong and company cheat to win the championship. Kushida then gets the better of Strong early in the grappling battle. Kushida targets an arm, softening up Strong for submission. Strong continues and counters a cross arm breaker. Kushida continues the attack on the arm. Strong runs away before the commercial break. Strong recovers, gains the upper hand, coming back into the show. Kushida is fighting from underneath. Rally by Kushida into a bunch of signature spots, then the palm strike by Kushida. Strong able to counter that a moment later, and then Kushida fights back with a block of a superplex, and Kushida comes out on top with an avalanche and shoulder breaker. Strong then answers with backbreakers. Series of missed strikes. Strong then continues. Kushida counters while trying the hoverboard lock. Strong then traps into the submission hold with Malcolm Bivens, putting Strong's feet on the rope. Referee is alerted to the foot on the ropes, and the hold is in fact broken. Referee is distracted by Bivens. The Creed brothers proceed to pull Kushida out of the ring. Ivy Nile hits Kushida with a strike. Diamond Mine sends Kushida to the back of the ring into the waiting arms of Strong. Falling backbreaker by Strong. Strong gets the win. Then Grayson Waller interrupts the Diamond Mine celebration. He challenges Strong to a title match next week on NXT. Bivens consults with Strong, and Bivens accepts the challenge for next Tuesday. Tony D'Angeli, in another vignette, hyping himself as a figure in the Mafia. Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs tell the story of how they met at a bar. They got into a fight, but beat the heck out of each other, and have been close friends ever since. Interesting way to develop a team. Kaylee Ray defeats Army Miller. Miller gets a small promo before the match, but Ray wins easily with the gory bomb, and Ray pins Miller. Breaker is backstage, and he's pumped to team with Ciampa. There's still some tension there, Ciampa being champ and all. Unnamed guy from the Manners arrive at the building with two women, opens the door for them, but then somebody tries to cut ahead of the women. Mean Guy is upset by this, and so Mean Guy beats up Stranger. Dante Chen defeats Trey Baxter. Chen wins a short match. Baxter looks strong. Chen comes back with a small package. Chen transitions, cradle into a guillotine choke bomb. Chen then covers Baxter for the win. Andrew Chase is doing some sort of, cross between Bob Backlund and Dean Douglas. Teaches a class of students, and he calls Chase University. First lesson was Odyssey Jones losing in the finals of the breakout tournament. Student named Steve asks a question pointing out that Chase lost to Jones. In the semifinals of the tournament, Chase flips and starts screaming and swearing at the student. Chase throws things around and kicks the student out of the class. Announcers offer Triple H well in his surgery recovery from the heart scare he had. Cameron Grimes defeat Joe Gacy. Then, Grimes pins Gacy in a short enough match. Gacy, before the match, cuts a promo, sitting down in a chair in the ring. He says he does conflict resolution. He uses male privilege to get what he wants. He understands that life isn't fair. He believes he can achieve unity and tolerance. Gacy says we all can achieve peace in a safe space. Grimes is on fire. Gacy cuts him off. Grimes recovers, but Gacy does a handspring into a lariat, levels Grimes. Gacy goes to capitalize. Grimes out of nowhere delivers cave-in double stomp and gets the win. Gacy hugs Grimes after the match. Highlights from the wedding last week. And then we go to Elektra Lopez with Legado del Fantasma defeating Annie Shear. Lopez is a bit of a bully in the match and wins easily. After a sit-out powerbomb, Lopez pins to win the match, and Santos cuts a promo, puts over Lopez saying she's competitive, and Lopez then says she did it tonight is just a taste of what she's going to do. Theme music for Hit Row hits, and out they come. They all brawl around the ring, and then Trey Baxter is backstage. He's down in the dumps over his loss earlier in the show. His girlfriend, Cora Jade, tries to cheer him up. She kisses him. He seems to feel better after getting the ladies' attention. Frankie Monet confronts women's champion Raquel Gonzalez. Been a while since we've seen her. Title match is now scheduled for next week's NXT. Someone names Lash Legend also says she's debuting next week and says she has a talking segment kind of like Piper's Pit. Odyssey Jones wins a 2-on-1 handicap match. He wins the handicap match easily. Jones has no real challenge from either guy. Jones then hits a splash off the ropes on both before getting a pinfall. Andrew Chase tries to attack Jones after the match. Chase is swinging a chair. Jones takes it from him. Chase then begs off and leaves the ring. Jones stands tall. Ikemen Hero is featured in a vignette, and then we go to Toxic Attraction promo. Toxic Attraction trio is in ring for the promo. Mandy Rose cuts a heel promo, and Gigi Dolan, JC Jane are with her. Jim Valley announcer might be interested to know that Mandy Rose turned heels because of the fans. Now they don't care what the fans think. Dolan says the pain of her past fuels her aggression. She and Jane need a purpose, which is where Rose comes in. Together, they're headed to the top of NXT. Jane says Toxic Attraction aren't just pretty faces. They won't just sit back and wait for things to happen. The new champs, Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, are backstage. Shirai accepts the challenge of the team. Title match is set for next week. Champs argue amongst themselves with Tisha Perova confronts them. Perova said Indy Hartwell returns from her honeymoon and she wants to regain her tag titles. Seemingly this means they are now tag partners. Next week, NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, Stark and Shirai defend against Gigi Dolan, JC Jane with Mandy Rose. Raquel Gonzalez defends against Frankie Monet. And then Cruiserweight Champion Roderick Strong in his first title defense against Grayson Waller. Then we go for the main event of the episode. Longer and more focused. Bond Breakker and Tommaso Ciampa defeats Pete Dunne and Rage Holland. Breakker pins Holland to win the match for his team. O'Reilly runs in to interfere, setting up the finish. Ciampa and Dunne face off to start the match. Breakker and Holland. Breakker displays power, suplexing Holland. Breakker suplexes Dunne. Both teams work together. Babyfaces do it a little bit better. Blind tag by the heel. Dunne allows a sneak attack on Ciampa. Dunne targets Ciampa's hand and arm. Goes after joint locks. Comeback by Ciampa. Fight spills to the outside of the ring. Ciampa is in control until he's blindsided by a spear from Holland. And show goes to a final commercial. Dunne is going after Ciampa. Returns from commercial. Ciampa answers with kicks of his own, yet Holland tags in quickly here. Finger break as Dunne stomps on Breakker's hand. And the heels are back in control. Ciampa jumps in, breaking up a pin attempt on his tag partner. Ciampa and Dunne exchange strikes in the ring, in spite of the fact neither one is a legal individual. And then Holland gives Ciampa an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Breakker gives Dunne an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Breakker and Holland face off like they are going to go into a hoss fight, and then they hit each other with lariats. Neither sells for the other. Then the heels try to use a club, but Ciampa runs in to make the save. Nonetheless, Ciampa is soon knocked out of the ring. Breakker goes for press slam on Dunne, but Holland rakes his eyes. Kyle O'Reilly runs down to ringside. O'Reilly grabs the club and hits Holland with it. Holland gets nailed with his own club. O'Reilly rolls Holland back in the ring. And meanwhile, Ciampa gives Dunne a Willow's Bell. Breakker hits a gorilla press into a power slam on Holland, and Breakker covers Holland for the 3 count to close the show. Definitely a weaker show than this was 6 months ago. Certainly weaker than it was a year ago, but that's NXT for you. We'll be back with more right after this.